And finally, from Colorado, in a jaw-dropping move that has animal rights activists scratching their heads, the Colorado Supreme Court ruled that 5 elephants at Cheyenne Mountain Zoo can't sue for their freedom because they're not human. Now, despite these legal hiccups, animal activists are not backing down. In fact, they're continuing their fight to prove that elephants might just deserve a little more than a lifetime behind bars, or in this case, a zoo fence. While the court focused on the legal distinction between humans and animals, the debate around their captivity continues to spark outrage and even concern. Here's our final report on the humanity of elephants.
Elephants have long been admired for their intelligence and grandeur. It has earned them the title of majestic. But when it comes to the law, these towering creatures aren't quite human enough to have their day in court. In a ruling that left animal advocates shaking their heads, the Colorado Supreme Court recently decided that the elephants of Cheyenne Mountain Zoo, despite their impressive qualities, don't have the legal right to seek freedom from their captivity. The case revolves around 5 elephants at the zoo: Missy, Kimba, Lucky, Lulu and Jambo. They were born in the wild but spent most of their lives in captivity. The Nonhuman Rights Project, an animal advocacy group, argued that these elephants, like humans, deserve the right to challenge their confinement and be released to an elephant sanctuary. The group claims that living in the zoo is harmful to these highly intelligent animals, and they should be allowed to roam freely in an environment better suited to their natural needs. But the Colorado Supreme Court wasn't convinced. In a decision that seemed to overlook the intellectual and emotional needs of the tuskers, the court ruled that because elephants aren't legally classified as people, they have no standing to bring a habeas corpus claim. This is a petition that asks the court to order the release of a person who's being detained illegally. The ruling, while emphasizing that the animals are indeed majestic, boiled down to a simple conclusion: elephants do not have the same legal rights as humans. This isn't the first time the freedom of elephants has been rejected. In 2022, the New York Court of Appeals also ruled against the release of Happy, an elephant at the Bronx Zoo, following a similar argument made by the Nonhuman Rights Project. While legal battles rage on in the world's oldest democracy, it is worth noting that elephants in other parts of the world live a more comfortable life. In countries like Sri Lanka, India, Nepal, Bhutan, Kenya, Zimbabwe and Thailand, elephants coexist with humans in ways that blend cultural significance with more natural, freer environments. These elephants are often part of wildlife conservation programs or cultural traditions that allow them to roam and interact with other elephants. In these countries, elephants are not just seen as majestic creatures to be admired from behind bars, but as living beings that deserve space, companionship and dignity. While the fight for the release of elephants from captivity continues, it remains clear that the legal system has a long way to go in recognizing these animals as beings worthy of rights. Whether or not elephants will ever receive legal personhood is uncertain. But one thing is for sure: the conversation around animal rights, their freedom, and the treatment of these majestic creatures will continue to evolve. Until then, it seems the battle for Missy, Kimba, Lucky, Lulu and Jambo is far from over.
From breaking news to the day's biggest controversies, shedding light on the world's top headlines, detailed analysis on the stories that matter the most to you. Catch it all on Spotlight at 6 p.m. India time and 12:30 GMT, only on Firstpost.